we wanted to do a bit of a tactical kind of analysis debate. In what seems to be like quite a hot topic now is the back four against the back three. You know, a back four seems to be coming in and out of fashion a little bit. I think in Spain, someone mentioned to me that something like 17 teams in the last week played a back four.
Back four?
Yeah. I might have to check that one because I might be providing some shady stats. But I think Anton, I'll put the blame on Anton, Fred. He said that 17 teams lined up with a back four.
Whereas in the Prem,
it's shifted towards more towards the three.
Yeah.
So what are the pros and cons of having a back four as compared to a back three? So let's start with that.
So the pros of the back four.
Both, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to structure it that way.
I feel like, generally speaking, especially when it comes to young players and players that have come from this country, they have a little bit. They're more comfortable. I feel that they in playing in the back four. I feel like the back three is a very for me, it's quite a specialised type of system, and it will take some period of adaptation for certain players to kind of fit it. I feel like the back four is slightly a bit. Do you know what? It all depends on how you play it. Honestly, in terms of these kind of systems, a back four, back three, it generally depends on how you apply it. Because you could be tight and solid with a back four and tight and solid with a back three. It just really depends on how well your players apply your methods and practices. Because there's been times where Arsenal, for example, you can use Arsenal as probably the prime example of them playing a back three and still looking shaky, and then playing a back four and still looking shaky. It is really about the coaching and the application of the manager's vision.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So, in terms of the weaknesses of a back three, I feel like it just all boils down to application for me. I don't really have a real preference. I feel like right now I'm comfortable. As a Chelsea fan, you're comfortable because it's worked.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say necessarily that it has to be a back three from now on or back four. It's all about application.
Yeah. The way I look at it, personally speaking, is if I was to number one, I'll never start off with do I want to start back three or back four. My whole thing is, okay, what am I trying to achieve from this game, and how am I trying to win this game? Generally speaking, I would start with, okay, what are the qualities of my players available to me? If I've got, okay, so in a squad you're going to have a minimum of 4 centre-halves, 4 to 5, or even 6 if you've got guys who can play there that play elsewhere primarily. Do I want to play from out the back? So that would be my biggest thing. If I feel like I have the players that suit a back three, do I want to play out the back? Now, I would also look at the opposition. If I know that they defend with 2 strikers, then I'd probably want to play with a back three because I'd want that overload in the initial phase of the build-up. Now, I could also make the case that if I've got an exceptionally good holding midfielder, you can actually drop in between. Busquets is like the best example that we've had in this generation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games where you look at the lineup and you think, okay, 4-3-3, and then in certain phases of the game, it's actually a 3-3-4 or a 3, like whatever, because Busquets has dropped hella deep, knowing that, okay, opposition have 2 strikers, they're going to press a Puyo and a PK, and then you've got Busquets dropping in. So I look at that as well. I'd also, and if the team tends to play 1 up front, then I'd probably start with a back 2, because then I've got the 2v1. So that would be the biggest thing for me. And also, I'd also look at the fullbacks. What kind of fullbacks do I have? If I have fullbacks that, if I believe are capable of occupying a whole flank, then I'd probably be a bit more motivated to play a system that employs wing backs. But if I've got fullbacks that I feel need some support out wide, whether it be inside forwards, natural wingers, or maybe like wide playmakers, in the sense of like Atletico Madrid. Like with Atletico Madrid, I will never play fullbacks because I don't think, well, Juan Fran more so than Felipe Luis, I don't think those guys are wing backs, even though they're very good going forward. I don't think they have the athleticism for it. So it makes sense to play 4 across the back because then you've got additional support coming from wide areas. So my starting point is, okay, how am I trying to build from the back? and does this suit the strengths of my players, and does it also compensate for the weaknesses in other areas? So, like for Arsenal, for an example, I don't think it suits us at all because I don't think
Bellerin is not a wing back.
You know what I mean? Obviously,
But is that more just so to do with his offensive ability, though, not to do with athleticism per se?
Yeah, that's more. It's definitely more of his technical ability and his game IQ, and also I think most teams don't defend our first phase in the build-up with two. I think most of them defend with one. So a lot of the time, I'm seeing us. You know, I'm using Arsenal as an example, by the way, but of how to not use a three at the back when there's when you've got that kind of overload. 3v1 overload makes no sense because that extra one could be used in other areas of the pitch, i.e. midfield. So I think that's because I'm biased towards building from the back. Yeah, that's where I would start.
Okay.
Personally speaking.
You've obviously you support United, so you've seen Jose fluctuate between a back three and a back four this season.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it about a 50-50 split in terms of?
No, it's more 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
We play like a back three. Yeah, definitely less. We played like once or twice in the Champions League, maybe 3 times in the Champions League and a few times in the league.
Yeah.
But we've mainly played 4 at the back.
What would you say are the standout differences between when you guys play a back three and a back four?
One of them is like in build up from what Kane said. He's just like it's just a wasted man. He's just there, 3-man back line, and there's no point. And also the way in our last game I watched, who did we play last? Chelsea, when we played a back three, like even the position of them, they were really bunched together. Like Smalling, Jones, and Bailly were bunched together. Probably because Smalling's a complete bum on the ball, so he's not really comfortable all areas of the pitch. Whereas I've seen us play it before, and I think Lind might have been one of the back three, or Lindelof, and they were more spread out. But it's also a waste of a man. And also, I feel like when we played a back three, and the reason why I don't really like the back three when I see it implemented, is that there's not enough width in the final third, so I don't feel like teams drag enough. I think it's a lot easier to defend, especially because not a lot of teams, in my opinion, have good enough wing backs to have this guy is a sole operator in the wide areas. Like in the league, there's not one wing back in the league to me that warrants that. Like me personally, if I was going to have this, okay, my wing back's going to be my creative and offensive outlet from wide position. So
like a Marcelo kind of
If
thing.
it's not Marcelo,
yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I really don't want it. I'd rather have a quite competent wide player, like, so even to a level like, let's say like a third, fourth tier wide player like Redmond, for example. I'd rather have a Redmond there than a Bellerin, or a Marcos Alonso. So I don't like especially from my perspective, we already suffer from having no philosophical strategy whatsoever. So when we played in that formation, it makes it even a lot harder. So we find it hard to get high up the pitch quick enough because of that. We don't really have the passing lanes, and also when we get to the final third, we don't have the required width. We become really predictable. So at least when we play the 4-2-3-1, and when we have Martial, especially Martial, because he kind of stays wider, because he's more comfortable wide, but Rash instead. Yeah. At least then we can stretch the pitch on the left side because we have this dangerous attacker, and on the right side Valencia is a one-man tank. So we are stretching the pitch. But when we don't have that option, we become a lot easier to defend, and we kind of get into crossing the ball from deep areas. So that's why I'm not really much of a fan of the three at the back.
Okay, no. Oh, I thought you were.
No. I was going to say as well. Like I think with the wing back thing, obviously it's a knock-on effect. Obviously playing three at the back because you tend to play obviously just 2 flat players. But you could argue that it also depends on how you want to use those wide players, because you can use them in the Marcelo sense where they are very, very much used in terms of the build-up, and they see a lot of the ball now.
And to be fair to Marcelo, like how many creative wing backs would you actually have in the world if you're using Marcelo as a?
That's why I want to play wing backs.
But the thing is, the way I would employ it is I like my flank players to be outlets as opposed to creative players. Yeah. I think the best example I've seen of that uses Juventus with Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein was just there just to be the option. So as soon as it hits a certain area of the pitch, that's the trigger. He's already on the move, and it's just a case of just knocking it to him. And by the time the ball's moved out wide, it doesn't even have to do much because he's got so much space.
I think
Bellerin even if you look at Arsenal don't even do it particularly well, but there have been so many times where the switches on.
But yeah.
And it completely unbalances the defence. So I don't even think you even need those wide players to be particularly technically great.
I think they need to be great. I think where we saw Oxlade do really well is because our build-up play and structure is so crap. He would get into a lot of 1v1 situations because we moved the ball too slowly.
Because especially from a Man United perspective, we have no infrastructure. Our infrastructure is injured at the moment, so we have no infrastructure. So when we get into wide areas, where it's so easy to defend. So let's say Ashley Young gets the ball out wide, or it's Blind, or it's Darmian or Valencia, wherever it may be. As soon as whoever is the nearest defender comes across, that attack is shut down because the guy will attempt to cross, and more often than not, crosses can be dealt with by
especially deep crosses.
Especially deep crosses, especially if the defender's in the right position.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're the flip side, if the outlet is from, I'll use my team for example, if it's Marcus Rashford or Mkhitaryan or Anthony Martial, then you have a 1v1 opportunity. And I like 1v1 opportunity. I like creating 1v1 opportunities for my team, especially in the final third. Because once you've beaten one player, then everybody's playing help, like the basketball team, help defense. So somebody has to come out to address you, otherwise you've got plenty of space, especially in the final third, because you're close to goal. So every time we've seen Marcus or Anthony beat a player, it completely destabilises the defence and causes.
Can I ask you guys a question? So we've talked about why we would or wouldn't use X, free for the back. How would you attack a 4-man defence, and how would you attack a 3-man defence? Where would you think you get most joy?
But before I got onto that, in terms of this was like referring back to what I said originally. It all depends on how it's implemented. Because for example, the way that we play it pretty much like an outlet. You see Victor Moses, he carries the ball. Alonso is always in space on the left hand side. Always, he was always an option against Manchester United. Alonso was always an option. Valencia had to stay tight to Hazard, and Alonso had tons of space. So Alonso is not a great player. Got a decent left foot, but he's not a great player. But so if you were to upgrade him for example, Alexandro, which is what we tried to do in the summer, that would become an infinitely better player, better option, and an infinitely better implementation of the system. Because Alonso is not capable of doing exactly what. For example,
my thing is that the width that, even if it was Sandro, the width that you're providing is not high enough for me. Like, I want the width to be a lot higher. I want it to be in the front. I want you to try to stretch the wing backs, because of the nature of their job description. They still have
defensive.
They still have more defensive responsibility than, let's say, a wide forward will have.
Yeah.
So probably I don't like the width that they provide. I don't think it's enough. I rather have two wide forwards. Yeah. Providing proper high width, and that way in the final third, the back four can't be as tight and compact as they want to be.
But whilst I get that, shouldn't that be dependent on if you have actual wingers? Because we don't actually have actual wingers. So I wouldn't want an actual, like in our current system, or even in a 4-2-3-1. We don't actually have actual wingers. So generally we don't actually have width.
The personnel.
So we'd have literally a wide forward or attacking midfielders come inverted, and we're crowding the whole central area with no width at all.
What's interesting, and obviously it goes back to interpretation of tactics, right? You see your approach. I'd be more likely to play through the back, and
1,000,000%.
And I'll explain to you. I'll say why. It's because if I'm playing 4 at the back, so I'm playing with 4 backs now, but I also want my wide forwards wide. Then I've got 2 sets of flank players occupying wide positions, but the goal's in the middle of the pitch. If anything, I'd prefer my best or more offensive players in more central areas because...
Let me explain you my rationale around that. I want that for Man United because I know who my fullbacks are, and they're washed, yeah? But in general, see how Neymar and Messi play off the wide flanks.
Yeah, the half space.
The half space.
Yeah.
And then they also have... I'd rather have 2 at the back because more often than not I'm playing against one striker.
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to have an extra body further up the pitch. So I have 2 at the back. And I love Pep's Barca, innit? Because Alba and Daniel Alves, they spent the majority of their time in the opposition half. So they still give you quite relative... How many times do we see Messi cuts in, plays the ball, and all of a sudden Alba's from.
If you look at the Arsenal Man United game, Arsenal Barcelona game, both of them, but especially the 10-11 game, the move that they always did, especially in the first half, bop, left side or left central space. Xavi looks up, pings it. Dani Alves.
But Dani Alves was chilling in that spot.
It happened about 10 times in that half.
So that's how ideally I would like to have preferably a fit, not a meat pie Luke Shaw, and a right back. Oh, who's the right back I was pre the other day? Oh, I think he's Barca's right back, Samundo.
Yeah. Oh, he's a player now. He's a proper player.
Bad. He dribbles like a winger. Anyway, so if you have that type of skill set players, they can also provide you your width, but you have your wide players who can occupy half spaces and come outside and isolate 1v1. So you see Neymar, he'll come outside and isolate 1v1, and Messi can as well. But especially if the wing, because of the nature of the wing back, the nature of most of their skill sets, unless you have, I don't have to be Marcelo level. Danny Rose is a good example. You mentioned Alexandro. That's a good example. I'm not sure. Semedo, I'll say his name wrong. The Barca right back. Semedo. Daniel Alves. Unless you have that type of player, because I don't want. If you're having possession in the final third, I want it to be players who are good with possession. When I say good, I mean in all aspects. Beating players, crossing, interchange and passing. So, back to, but
you had a question.
The only thing I was going to ask is obviously we're talking, because obviously we moved on from playing 4-3 at the back because of what it can also give us going forward, but also in the reverse. What do you think you'd find? What would you prefer to face, and how would you attack a threat at the back?
First of all, see the Chelsea game. If I was playing Chelsea, I would have played Martial, Lukaku, and Rashford together, and I would have said, and I've had Mkhitaryan. I would have played the same, but I would have said Martial, Rashford, Lukaku, you're not coming back. Well, I'm gonna take the calculated risk. Who you played? Was it Harry Potter's Zappa? And Alonso.
Expelliarmus.
And Alonso. And Alonso's not, especially Alonso's not in the greatest of form.
Yeah. I'm
going to risk you having space in my third, and then when you lose the ball, let's say it's Lukaku, whoever the front three are, they have way more space now. So I'm going to give Conte something to think about in that regard. And
then that will retreat. That will turn attacking from 5 with 5 to attacking with 3, because we're going to be thinking Martial counter, Lukaku counter, Rashford counter.
Because let's say, for example, Chelsea say, all right, cool, we'll have you there. Okay, cool. Chelsea lose the ball, and every attack could be potentially
a goal.
It could be 3-on-3, maybe 3-on-4. But if Martial's wide left, Rashford's maybe wide right, Lukaku's occupying 3 the centre back, then who did you play? You played KO on the left, or was it Rudiger or Aspie?
Rudiger.
No, it was Aspie.
Aspie and KO.
So then Aspie and Christensen have to make a decision. Am I gonna shuffle cross right to go meet Martial, who's in dangerous space, and Rashford? And I don't really want to do that because I don't. Okay, maybe Aspie. Aspie don't want it. Martial, I'm trying to shit. And then who's the other one? KO definitely doesn't want it. Marcus Rashford in the wide areas. And then if you do that, then you're leaving space in the channels for Lukaku to operate. So that's how I'll probably attack it. I'll be offensive minded and challenge that 3 at the back. That's how I would.
But you see, with that, you're banking on your midfielders having to get the ball to them. Yeah? And in that system, where we're playing 5-3-2, we're overloading that midfield. So your guys can stay there, but they're not getting the ball. Then there's no defensive support. Because then that may be the case, yeah? But say, for example, you're not getting the ball, so then you see Alonso, Moses, or whoever, Zappa Costa, thinking, you know what, I've got space. Boom, overload. They're overloading your wide. Why can't that happen? Because you will be getting overloaded. So whilst it is a calculated risk, it's a risk. And generally speaking, managers try and balance their risk, the risk and reward. So whilst that could occur, the likelihood of you being overloaded in your midfield, the midfield area, because it happened. What? Who did you play? Well, yeah, it happened anyway when you had the 2 in midfield. So you had overloaded in midfield. So your wide guys weren't even getting service. Generally speaking,
we didn't have wide guys. We played 3 at the back. We had 2 strikers.
Your 2 strikers. And that's the thing. So, for example, Lukaku, he was drifting into channels. He weren't causing anyone any issues. Anyone. Like generally,
Yeah, of course, because your guys didn't have anything to worry about, so they could come back and forward as they please. So there was nothing in the wide area. So man can't drift into channels because the man them are there.
Yeah.
So if he could drift into the right channel,
you're talking
Zappa's
about
there.
you're talking about pulling Chris Jensen out.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it was Chris Jensen played. Yeah, because oh yeah, Aspie started.
Aspie, Chris Jensen, and Cahill.
Cahill, yeah. Oh yeah, because the reason started.
So
Yeah,
you're literally talking about taking
because then Chris Jensen and Cahill have a decision to make.
You mean Aspie and Cahill?
Sorry, I keep forgetting Louise was playing. Yeah. Aspie and Cahill have a decision to make because Marshall has that occupied space because Zappa's gone and Alonso's gone. Maybe usually more time one of them might go.
So you're basically it's like a 1v1. Pretty much
it's almost a 1v1. So I'm taking that because me personally, especially with my midfield, if I had Pogba, I'd be hella comfortable with it. Because I know when Pogba gets the ball, he's gonna find that man. Without Pogba, I'm thinking, okay, cool. The midfield will get dominated anyway. We've got bums there. We've got bums there. Yeah. Like Herrera doesn't want the ball. Matic can have the ball, but we won't get overloaded there. I already know that is a risk. So I'm gonna take that calculated risk that I'm gonna try and make Chelsea try and counter what I've done.
So with that, so with just that three, that's with three at the back as well. So it's three.
No.
Just two at the back.
No, four at the back.
Four at the back. So it's like a 4-3-3, but with three strikers.
Yeah. So no, how Barca used to play with Juli, Eto'o, and Ronaldinho, when they used to, and when Messi got injured, they were like, okay, cool.
Set up a corners.
Okay, you don't do that. When you use a ball, you have to see us.
Yeah.
So actually, the best example would be buying Barcelona 2015.
Oh, Robin Ribéry, and
no, MSN versus.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Of course, MSN been doing that exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, that was a nice discussion. I enjoyed that.
Why is he so happy?
No, I do enjoy that. I think it's a good dimension that we can add to our content.
Me. If I'm playing against three at the back, I'm leaving. I'm playing three forwards.
Yeah,
but the thing is like okay, like I wouldn't say just stay up, but my thing is like you're still playing high.
Yeah,
you're still playing high, and I'm playing on the counter. It's wicked for me. I like initiative. I like to have the ball at all times.
It's the only way. I feel that's the only way.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the only way to play it for me.
If I'm playing versus
to try and isolate the centre backs 1v1.
Yeah, because generally speaking, if I'm playing three forwards. Even if they're not necessarily superior in terms of individual ability, just the presence alone
is a problem.
Defenses ain't going to be used to that.
I remember it's not as similar, but fairly similar. I remember Arsenal, they had a game against Aston Villa, but it was four at the back. But what happened? You know how Arsenal play as an offensive team. Your fullbacks tend to be quite high wide, so it might have been Monreal, Gibbs, and Berilo, Debussy, whatever bum you had a right back. But what Aston Villa did. It was Sherwood, didn't it? You know Sherwood, 4-4-2. He had Benteke and Abong 2v2. Every time Arsenal lost the ball, it was on site. It was on site because there's
is that the 3-1 one?
No, I don't think it was the 3-1.
Oh, right.
No, because the 3-1 was before Sherwood.
That
was PNP.
Because my thing is
that was prime PNP.
Because even Kylian, he even said it. He mentioned it, and I think we've been knowing this. Is like defenders nowadays are not as comfortable one-on-one. Because they're just not coached that way. Yeah. Like in terms of straight up man marking.
And
so
also,
you don't even listen, at the end of the day, we know that Benteke isn't a better striker than Koscielny is as a defender. We know that Abongaho isn't a better striker than
it's just
the fact that like you're gonna get dragged all over the place when modern day defending is more about zone or it's more about units. So
and even just that, I think even with modern day attackers, if we look at the legendary strikers of yesteryear, they're more like Fox in the Box, Poacher's 9. These man now, they can dribble.
They can go everywhere. They can dribble everywhere.
You don't want to
complete forward.
Yeah. Not them Lacazette use. Like, but I love this game. But like guys like Mbappe, Alexis Sanchez, Aguero, Sane. You don't want to put them in a dark alley in the channels. You don't want to see them in the channels. Even Koscielny. Koscielny's probably one of the best 1v1 defenders we've seen in a long time. He doesn't want to be going out wide of Mbappe and them guys because you're not comfortable because the offensive team you have first moves advantage, so you're thinking what is he going to do, and then so it's 2v2. So let's say I remember the bare time 2v2 like Benteke dribbles the ball, and then let's say Koscielny's watching him, but then Mertens just thinking
But even similarly, even with four at the back, even when playing two central defenders. I've always said, my favourite formation is 4-3-3 because I think there's so many different things you can do even within a 4-3-3. One of the best things I've ever seen, even though I think we've seen it with Totti prior, is, listen, that number 9 for me is dropping deep because that Barcelona Real Madrid game in 2009, the 5-2.
6-2.
6-2.
Oh, I watched highlights of that the other day.
That game is one of the most important games tactically in terms of what to do with your forwards because Guardiola he outlined it. Messi wasn't even comfortable doing it.
Yeah,
that's what's hilarious. He said, "Listen, all you need to do, play there, drop deep, because then you're I've even me playing as playing as a central defender, even recreationally playing, amateur football, whatever. I don't like to be forced to make a decision.
Yeah,
should I step out? Should I stick? If I stick, he's going to get on the ball. Then he can make stuff happen, and he's going to get the ball between the lines.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that you want as a centre half.
Yeah.
But if I go with him, and then I'm leaving my other centre half, but I'm also leaving space. So I've said, okay, I'd match it up with there's always two attackers that the two centre defenders have to deal with.
Yeah.
So
fair. Cool. Well, let's get in our time machine.
Yeah.
Because we're about to go back to...
Why are you shaking? I want to see what he's shaking.
You see what this guy's dancing
Bro.
to, right?